Family, it's funny business, huh? This week my sister contacted me to tell me that somebody had passed away, somebody who I'd seen, I believe, once in the last 35, 40 years. And truth be told, as I grew up, I actually had very little in common with my Aunt Jessie. She was my mom's sister, and they did not have the greatest relationship. And as is so often the case, the issues of the parents spill over onto the children. You know, whatever my aunt was in the eyes of others, and even in my own judgmental eyes as an adult, no one can take away the kindness and the wisdom that she gave me as a child. You know, when my sister told me that she passed, I didn't feel much. As I said, I hadn't seen her. I didn't really feel a connection. And then, just a few hours later, I was in the shower and I was standing there and I found myself feeling quite choked up. I found myself feeling tears. And I remembered these occasional Saturday afternoons where she would make me feel special. She would take me to Bury Market. Now, Bury Market was this outdoor market area. It wasn't a long way away. It was probably, I'm guessing, because I don't really remember, maybe an hour away on the bus. But it felt like an escape. It felt like getting away from the ghetto that I was in, that I lived in. And we'd get there, and we'd wander around and we'd chat about all kinds of different things. And it was wonderful because, in truth, my aunt was kind of known as being quite self-involved. Yet on those Saturdays, she was interested in me. She wanted to know about me. And on those Saturdays, anybody who knows me now knows I'm not really a chocolate fan. I don't really care about chocolate. But on those Saturdays, we would do something luxurious. And that was that she would take me to this little cafe. Just her and I mean, this little kid, you know, I'm probably maybe 10, maybe even a little younger. And we'd sit in this little cafe and she'd order this deep chocolate cake and we'd get a slice each. And we'd eat this cake and it was abundance. You know, it was like something I didn't understand it. You know, cake was something that came out of the freezer that you bought at the supermarket as far as I was concerned. And here was this fresh baked cake. It was amazing. In fact, in many ways, my aunt was the first person to teach me anything to do with abundance. I remember on one occasion, again, I don't know why she took me, but my aunt took me to her friend's place. And her friend and her husband got married, they moved away, and they also lived about an hour out of the city in a different direction, and we went to their place. And when we got there, as I stepped into the front door, I said, "It feels like I'm standing in mud," to which my aunt and her friends howled laughing. They thought it was hysterically funny, because of course I wasn't standing on mud, I was standing on shag pile carpet, and I'd never seen shag pile carpet. In my house as a kid there was linoleum floors. I think there might have been a carpet in the living room, but the rest of the house was these linoleum floors. Nasty stuff. I'd never seen shag pile. And it felt wealthy, it felt luxurious. My aunt was the first person to teach me to understand the difference. A difference, actually, in something that I see so often that people don't understand. People who didn't grow up in ghettos, but actually even have a lot of money, and people who are poor and everything in between, they don't quite get this, but she's the one who taught me the difference between the price and the value. See, when I was young, my aunt would go out on a Saturday night and we'd see her walking out. We'd watch. She always looked stunning. And she would get the wolf whistles and she'd get, you know, people would comment on how beautiful she looked. And I remember on a particular Saturday being in her room as she was getting ready, she was fixing her hair and doing things like that, and her talking to me, and I was looking at her clothes and saying how beautiful her clothes was. And she talked to me about that I should always buy a piece. I didn't know what a piece meant, but a piece. What it meant was that you can go out and you can buy the clothes that are trendy, you can buy the clothes that are in fashion, but you should always have a couple of pieces. And what these pieces were was these were high-end, high-quality pieces of clothing. And she talked about how she would wear a piece with the fashionable stuff, and it would make the fashionable stuff look expensive. And that she understood how to carry that energy of wealth and abundance, and she still lived in the ghetto. She understood that the fashionable things would pass, but the peace, that would last for years. And that we should be focused on the value of something rather than the price of something, because those pieces would last her for years and never go out of fashion. I'm grateful to my aunt, even though I didn't know her as an adult, really. But I'm grateful for the time she spent with me. I'm grateful for the kindness that she showed me. And I'm grateful for what she taught me about understanding what real wealth is. It's those times with people who pay attention, who focus in on you, who let you feel amazing and important. And it's value over price. And maybe there's nothing more valuable than high quality time. So, thank you, Aunt Jessie. I appreciate your lessons and your kindness to me.